Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me." The little children.
The little children.
And do not hinder them. And do not hinder them.
For the kingdom of heaven.
The kingdom of heaven.
The kingdom of heaven
belongs to such as these.
While my children were growing up, I had the opportunity to go on 2 or 3 short-term missionary trips.
In 1997, Susie went on a medical mission trip in Nepal.
Nepal was by far the most deprived nation I had ever visited. All of my senses were inundated. I had never seen people, eating from the garbage. I had never seen the children sleeping on the streets. I couldn't forget them. And though I was very busy taking care of my own, in the back of my mind I was always thinking about the other children out there somewhere. Who were they? What were they doing? What chances did they get? So somewhere along the way, I really felt that I could do something. Maybe I couldn't help very many of them, but it might be possible for me to help one.
Susie came back and started thinking about it, really had a burden in her heart for these children over there, and decided maybe she could do something about it.
When I started this journey, I thought that I would only help one child. I didn't know then the plans that God had for me.
When we met Nastia, one of the first things we learned about was her long, terrifying, sleepless nights. This torment was for 2 reasons. First, there were many large rats that would run across her bed during the night as she held the covers tightly over her head for protection. But another equally troubling reason is that Nastia's mother is a prostitute, often bringing men to their small home, where there was little privacy. As Nastia told us, my mother would do this right in front of me. They were loud and did not care that I was trying to sleep. Nastia also received many severe beatings when her mother was drinking, and her mother would sometimes leave for days at a time. Alone and hungry, Nastia would often scrounge through garbage cans in search of something to eat. This was her life when she was only 6 years old.
It's just such a tough way of life, and what these kids go through day after day, and it's pretty incredible.
Whatever you did for one of the least of these,
You were doing it to me.
that was me.
Every child that we help is a child that would have received no help if we hadn't been here.
As soon as we learned of Nastia, we made arrangements for her to live in one of our children's homes. For her, it felt like being rescued, this wonderful chance to become part of a warm, caring family. Now, age 9, Nastia says, "My whole life has changed. I have a real big family and new parents who I enjoy calling Mom and Dad. I like this new life very much, where there is kindness and love. I am happy here. I don't do bad things anymore. I go to church, and I can now sleep at night without pulling the covers over my head."
Susie's giving them a great home to live in. She's giving them the care that they're going to need, good food, and certainly the Christian education.
She's changing lives by helping kids that have no other help.
Being given the opportunity to be educated.
I think just emotionally, spiritually, physically, they're going to be an entirely different person than they would have been otherwise.
In school, Nastia is at the top of her class and is also taking accordion lessons. For the first time, she has a chance to build a brighter future.
With Trips with a Mission, it's a little bit more than just feeding them. I mean, you are taking them off the street, you're putting them into a protected home You are feeding them, you're clothing them, you're giving them an education. I mean, you're giving them a hope for the future.
There is one verse that talks about the children sitting by the hole of the asp, and they will be in no danger. I take great comfort in these verses because I feel that the children that we have helped, the children that we have brought into our homes, are now sitting by the hole of the asp and they're not in danger. We have little girls that know they would have been sold into prostitution. They feel safe here. They know that they will not be sold. They know that they will continue with their education, they will grow up and they'll have a future.
I was sick,
I was sick and you cared for me.
and you cared for me.
In Ghana, West Africa,
Coffee, age 7, was the first child accepted into this new home. His mother died while giving him birth. Soon thereafter, his father died from disease. Coffee's elderly grandmother was caring for him as best she could. But with no source of income, she would sit by the road and beg for food. They often had nothing to eat. Little Coffee, for all practical purposes, was facing the world alone, malnourished, without hope.
You can tell they haven't eaten for a long time and they're not clothed properly.
These are the children that have absolutely nothing,
There's a lot of hopelessness for these children.
and the living conditions are so poor.
You just can't imagine the poverty. It's one thing to go to the downtown city and you can see some poverty here in America, but there it just goes on and on and on, mile after mile, and thousands of people that you're seeing in village after village after village, and it just doesn't end.
So many people have said to me, you can't save them all, so why bother? But I always think about, what if my own child was the one that was out on the street? I would be so thankful if someone gave a helping hand to my child.
There's probably 1 million children out there, but she seems to have decided that if she can save 10, she will.
She does everything with these children in mind.
I guess I don't look at them as just street children, but I see them as real people. I see them as one of my children, and that may seem really foolish, but I do. I see them as children that God looks on and says, these children need a hand, but I need one of my servants to give them that hand. And that's who I am.
As a traumatized little boy, Coffee was extremely shy and fearful of anything unfamiliar. But today, Coffee is growing strong like a tree, gaining confidence and becoming a delightful young man. He is also enjoying his first opportunity to attend school, as well as learn about Jesus. Coffee's bright eyes now reflect the hope that is blossoming inside him.
How much better you can feel about yourself when you have a roof over your head, that you have a bed to sleep in, that you've got an opportunity to get a good night's rest, that you're not sleeping on dirt.
She has targeted children who just wouldn't have had a chance.
When you have a child that goes from a world of neglect to a world of love and warmth and education, it makes a world of a difference.
One of the most rewarding things in my life was to be able to see the kids when they first came into the orphanage. They were sick and they were sad and they were dirty and they were just a mess. And a year later, I got to go back and see the faces of these children as they run around playing happy. It was just to see that transformation has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever seen. And Susie, she does it through prayer. She just relies on the Lord, and she's just amazing.
I never would have believed 6 years ago that we would now be helping several hundred children.
She's got several projects. She's got one in Nepal. She has 2 currently in India, one in northern India, one in southern India. She has 2 home orphanages that she's started now in Belarus. And her latest project is a school home orphanage in Ghana, West Africa.
We are growing in all our facilities in all of our countries. We have projections for the next 2 years where we will have probably a total of 1,300 students within our care, and 550 children within our homes.
And by having an organization such as Trips with a Mission, where Susie comes in and builds facilities that can educate children, that can house children, that can give the care, the love, the warmth, the attention that they need.
Trips with a Mission is just a very small organization. We only have one part-time paid staff member in our administration.
You know, Susie doesn't take any kind of salary. She doesn't even use any of the Trips with a Mission money to fund her trips back and forth to get things done.
When you give to Susie's ministry, 100% of your money goes to that ministry.
There's no overhead. There are 2 or 3 individuals working with Trips with a Mission that pick up the overhead costs.
100% of their money goes directly to the child that they're sponsoring or the project.
You can't spend your money anywhere better because you know it's going directly to kids. It's making a difference in their life.
The dollars are going from us to this project, and it's real time. If funding runs out, the workers go home. If funding continues, the work continues, as well as the vision of creating hope for these children that are homeless.
I mean, you are changing a life. You are taking a child off the street and you are clothing them, you're feeding them, you're giving them an education, you're teaching them about Christ, you're giving them hope.
We have to turn children away every day because we simply don't have the space.
The resources are needed. You've got to have a place for them to stay. If there is no building, then there is no children, there are no teachers.
We are looking for people that will partner with us to make this dream a reality so that we can take these children off the streets and into a loving home environment.
It's giving them home.
It's amazing how far the US dollar can stretch there, creating wonderful things without huge sacrifices from us.
I am just an ordinary person. I am a mother and I'm a housewife. When I felt the tug on my heart to help one child, I took the first step. By God's grace, that one step has led to us helping hundreds of children. What I am looking for is partners, people that are willing to take that one step to help a child. God is continuing to open doors where we can help more children in different countries.
I think giving in general makes us a better person.
It's a reward that you get from within inside, and it opens up your heart.
Just the act of giving releases from us a lot of greed and selfishness. It allows me to get rid of some of the materialistic thinking and culture that I'm surrounded with all the time.
I tell everyone I meet about this organization. I really do. I think it's wonderful. I just tell them, I want to tell you about this wonderful woman I met in this organization she runs, and how she's helping children in third world countries, and how they could be a part of it too.
It is only with the help of people that realize every child is significant that we're able to move forward.
Blessed is he who is kind to the needy.
Who is kind to the needy.
To the needy.
I really enjoy hearing the kids sing the song, Make Me a Servant. They sing it with such sincerity. It really touches my heart. I truly believe that they will grow up to be servants of God. And that's what this ministry is all about.